witness the violence which takes place in Mexico every day that results from the drug trafficking here in the U.S., this is what you may witness. That guy's hanging. They threw that guy from the freeway overpass. He may have been like a official or something like that.
Is he hanged by his
He's hanging. Yeah, they threw him from the freeway overpass. Stuff like that, and beheadings. They'll roll those guys into the town square, depending on where you live, stuff like that. Majority of you from the survey taken stated that you used or knew someone who uses drugs, and by that acknowledgement is helping to fuel the balance in Mexico. Here, of course. Mexico's growing violence is now considered a national security threat by President Obama. I myself have a family who lives in Mexico, and I cannot even visit them because of the violence in Mexico. The U.S. is helping to fuel the balance in Mexico by selling guns to the drug cartels knowingly or unknowingly, buying their drugs, and not enforcing their policies. Today, I'll share with you how Mexico's violence is fueled by U.S. guns and drugs and what we can do to help. Mexico closed 2009 with an unprecedented level of violence and a record number of drug-related killings. One major source of data on drug-related killings is the Mexican newspaper Milenio, which reported that there were 8,281 drug-related killings, which is nearly one every hour in 2009. Mexico's violence is fueled by Mexico's guns. 90% of guns seized in Mexico are traced back to the U.S. The March 9th, 2009 Brady Center to Prevent Gun Violence reported that upwards of 90% of guns used by the drug cartels and recovered and traced by the law enforcement originate from U.S. gun sellers. To put Mexico's murders in perspective, consider that there have been only 4,224 American war casualties in Iraq during the almost 7 years since the war began in 2003. And now another issue that helps to fuel Mexico's violence is one that will never stop. The U.S. has an insatiable need for the illegal drugs that come from Mexico. The U.S. on drugs is not effective in stopping the drugs coming through borders. The U.S. is the biggest market for drug cartels. Marijuana by itself is a multi-billion-dollar industry. The website Customs and Border Protection.gov reported that on November 24th, 2009, for the fiscal year of 2009, border agents had seized more than 4.75 million pounds of narcotics entering into the U.S. Nonetheless, drug profits realized from the sale of drugs in the U.S. by Mexico's violent drug cartels are estimated to be as high as $40 billion per year. This guy is here. Is Joaquin Guzman. He was named as by Forbes magazine in 2009 first 701 billionaire in the world is head of the Sinaloa cartel in Mexico. They say that the first step in dealing with a problem is acknowledging that you have one. The U.S. can legalize certain drugs or heavily enforce their policies on issues that help to fuel the drug war. The U.S. must tackle its weak laws in order to prevent illegal firearm trafficking across the border with Mexico. This problem cannot be solved by spending more money. The more than 1.3 billion package, the second largest foreign aid package in the Western Hemisphere in the past decade, marks a major shift in the U.S. policy toward Mexico and a 700% increase in counter-drug spending there, from an average of $57 million a year to $400 million in 2008 and $720 million in 2009. We need to address the fact that weak, nearly non-existent American gun laws make it too easy for Mexican gun traffickers and other dangerous people to get American guns. It makes little sense to allow traffickers to buy truckloads of assault weapons in Texas and Arizona and then spend hundreds of millions of dollars to try to find these guns before they cross the border. Any prohibition on marijuana can help us save millions of dollars on non-effective drug wars. The legalization will not be a cure for all problem of drug abuse in America. What it can do is take away an industry that generates $500 billion a year cash trade for Mexican drug cartels. It will free up law enforcement to pursue those who daily commit crimes. It will take away the control of drugs from criminals and their organizations and curb the violence drastically that shatters the peace of our communities and is escalating at a tragic pace in Mexico. Now I've shared with you how Mexico's violence is fueled by U.S. guns and drugs and what can be done to help as far as any prohibition and stricter gun laws. The way I see it is that there are only two ways to stop the wave of violence. One is to suddenly endow the Mexican police with a miraculous efficiency that makes the impunity vanish. If we begin to see the capture of those truly responsible for the murders, the hired assassins would at least think a little more before carrying out an execution. The other way would be to recognize that we have lost the war against drugs, that it makes no sense to continue spending resources and human lives in an attempt to stop what no one can stop. Drug legalization, controversial, yes, but if things don't improve, more people may be ready to consider the legalization option.